Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Knowing how to belong to yourself is an art in a world where everyone is finding their home in others. And what this really is essentially about is why you shouldn't try to fit into other groups or when you're with others. I'm going to kind of explain what I mean here first before I even explain why people even try to fit in, which is I totally am a guy who switches how I act in certain situations in certain groups. So like if I'm in a group where they're my best friends, I'm gonna act different than when I'm in a group when I'm just let's say a school partnership. But the difference is the core piece of me, who I am, my silly, enthusiastic, positive person is in every single situation. I'll never change who I truly am inside in a group. I'll just change my tone and match the energy of the group. So when I say fit in, I'm not referring to you have to be the exact same person in every situation, but rather never act like someone you're not and you know you aren't in a situation. And why do we do this in the first place? I mean, it's psychology. Probably the best idea is the imposter syndrome. If you don't know what that is, it's essentially the feeling that you're a fraud and that it is only a matter of time before you are found out for not being up to the job at hand. And that's just a lack of self-confidence, in my opinion, and not believing who you are. And I think that comes from judgment from previous and trauma. But I don't want to necessarily touch on confidence, because confidence is not something I can necessarily help you with. Confidence is something you internally have to find. I recommend, for me, what helped was going to the gym, but that's not what I really want to cover today. But kind of the reason why people try to fit in, except for confidence, and I think it's the more popular one, which is it's because we believe that in order to succeed or gain approval, we have to alter our behavior and show others a changed version of ourselves, one that we perceive others want us to be, a false self that we think we will meet their expectations. And no better example than the idea of Spider-Man. Everybody wants to be Spider-Man, but no one wants to be Peter Parker, because we're scared that if we show Peter Parker to others, they won't like us. What's kind of helped me kind of alleviate this issue, and it really helps when you get out of high school. So if you're watching this in high school, like, it's going to be really challenging because every single person you're around has been in your life for a while. But you realize now that I'm in college and I've been for some time, no one cares about you. And what I mean by that is people always forget that 98% of their thoughts are about themselves, whatever's going on in their life, whatever future problems they might be encountering, past experiences that they can't get over. We're constantly thinking about ourselves. That's a known fact, right? So the next time you do some embarrassing, stupid shit, you have to remember that absolutely no one will remember jack shit because they're worried about themselves. And you know how I know? Because I know that you spend most of your time thinking about yourself. And that's not a selfish thing, that's just how humans think. Think about the last embarrassing thing of a person that you know. You can't think of it on the top of your head because you don't think about that stuff. You think about the embarrassing things you've done. Our problems are so self-inflicted these days, and it just comes from social media and a whole array of other things. But you have to understand that being scared to put our true, authentic, vulnerable self and putting a mask is not the way to go. And I praise authenticity. God, I can't even say it. Authenticity. There we go. As much as I can, because there's nothing more fulfilling than acting like the person you truly are whenever you want. Because just I don't give a shit what people think of me. Another like psychology trick, I guess, that works for me is understanding that if one person doesn't like me, let's say a girl doesn't like me, she ghosts me, which by the way happened recently, which is funny. 4 billion, I have 4 billion other women. I'm sure one of them will be very similar to me. Like, don't change yourself around to be someone else, because you'll have someone who's just like you. And believe it or not being yourself does lead to emotional exhaustion. I actually have experienced this when I was in high school. I would get tired. I think you can definitely relate, especially for a certain extended period of time. If you're acting like somebody you're not, I remember this high school class where I was with the popular kids, and I was trying to fit in with these popular kids, and I wasn't necessarily not popular. I wasn't nerdy, but I was just kind of doing my own thing. But I cared at that time. And I would finish that class, and mentally it just wasn't there every single time. I was overthinking, and I was literally exhausted. And I hope, if you know what I'm talking about, I promise you, it just gets so much better. I don't remember the last time I tried to fit in a conversation, you know. I come into, for example, I love playing soccer. That's something I played for 15 years. I go into with a new group of people, and I'm just fucking screaming at the top of my lungs. Because that's who I am. And if they don't like me, so be it. They don't have to like me. Who cares if they like me? I like me. I like me. Just make sure you're not hurting anybody else. I'm not actually hurting anybody. I'm just being me. And if you don't like that, then so be it. You know, I'm the main character of my own story. You're the main character of your own story. And if you're not a part of my story, so that's okay. I can live with that. And I hope you can live with that too. But, man, I hope this helps. I really hope I was able to articulate this the way I wanted to. I don't know, I was a little hesitant at times, and I don't know if I portrayed the picture the way that I see it. Let me know in the comments, that'd be awesome. But I do want to finish with a quote, which is, you can't get to courage without walking through vulnerability. We're all vulnerable. Own up to it. Be yourself. Enjoy time with others. And love life. Take care.